A second new reactor has come online at the Vogtle nuclear power site, making it the largest producer of carbon-free energy in the country, according to Georgia Power. Unit 4 comes online less than a year after Unit 3 did. Together, they are the first nuclear reactors built from scratch in the U.S. in more than 30 years. They're expected to crank out 30 million megawatt hours of energy yearly, enough for 1 million homes. For more on this, I'm joined by Kann, a climate and environment reporter for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. So the project was expected to begin producing power roughly 7 years ago. So what took so long?
That's correct. Yes, the first of the two new reactors was supposed to come online in 2016, and the second was supposed to come online about a year after. But the project ran into lots of problems along the way. The U.S. has not built new commercial nuclear reactors from scratch in over 3 decades. So there were construction quality issues. They essentially designed the project along the way and had some problems there. So the project ended up reaching the finish line roughly 7 years later than expected. And the original cost estimate for the expansion of the nuclear power plant was about $14 billion. It ended up costing roughly $35 billion total among the 4 co-owners of the project.
And is there any specific reason for the cost, or just like everything in life, it costs more than you expect?
Well, I think it's worth noting that cost overruns on nuclear power plant projects are not necessarily a new thing. The 2 new reactors at Plant Vogtle actually joined 2 others that have been on the site running since the 1980s, and those also ran into issues with cost overruns. I think you talk to experts on the industry, Georgia Power as well. You know, we hadn't, as a country, done this in quite a while, and the quality of the electrical work, the cement, the steel that goes into a nuclear power plant, you know, you can't take people who are working building homes necessarily and immediately have them building a nuclear power plant and get it up to the quality that it needs to be. So there were a lot of issues there, and I think that certainly was contributed to the delays.
And Drew, help me understand the environmental impact, the environmental thinking around nuclear. It doesn't produce, much carbon pollution, and yet this is the first one in a long time, as you've reported, and the popularity of nuclear is obviously it's not highly popular. Help me understand where it fits in the environmental picture.
Yeah, so the construction of the nuclear power plant obviously does contribute to global warming. All the concrete and steel that goes into it requires a lot of energy to produce. But once the plant is up and running, essentially all it emits to the atmosphere is water vapor, and it produces lots and lots of electricity. These 2 units combined will provide enough power to power 1 million homes. So I think scientists who are concerned about the climate, there's no denying that that nuclear can provide lots of energy and provide energy that's reliable and provides that baseload 24/7 electricity that our modern economy depends on. But I think there are a lot of questions about given the urgency of climate change, how viable of a solution it is, given that scientists say we need to be reducing emissions right now and don't necessarily have time for projects that take 10 to 15 years to reach the finish line.
And what's the safety profile now of nuclear? Obviously, when in the 70s it was a huge issue and concern. What's the level of community concern around nuclear power now?
I think nuclear is generally regarded as pretty safe. As you referenced, there have been some very serious, high-profile incidents in past years. The Chernobyl disaster is probably the most well-known one. There was a partial meltdown at 3 Mile Island in Pennsylvania, and then most recently, the disaster at Fukushima in Japan. So things don't go wrong often at these power plants, but when they do, there can be very serious consequences. There's also questions about what to do with the waste once the fuel is spent. Right now, it's basically just stored on the power plant sites in these enormous concrete casks, but that's not a long-term solution.
And then finally, where does nuclear fit in President Biden's environmental mix and energy mix?
So the Department of Energy is very interested in supporting the advancement of new nuclear, but currently there are no new commercial power plant projects no order signed for new ones. There's interest in what are called small modular reactors, which are sort of a scaled down version of the Vogel reactors, a little bit smaller. The thought is they'll be a little bit quicker, perhaps cheaper to build. But again, there's none of those in the pipeline. There's also a lot of interest from tech companies in these kind of reactors because there's been a proliferation in Georgia and other southeastern states of data centers, which are essentially warehouses packed with servers that power our digital lives, but they require lots of energy. And so our energy needs are growing. At the same time, we're trying to reduce our emissions. So it's a complicated problem.
Drew Kann with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Thanks very much, Drew.